What?
Okay. Okay. We have one more person. We're good? Okay. So is it streaming or is it not streaming? No? Okay. Okay, we're gonna call this meeting to order at 6:06 p.m. For the record, all members of council are here. All staff are here. Monica Hofstetter is online with us as well as our city attorney, Julie Norton. And Jafet just mentioned that the streaming isn't on right now, but as soon as the meeting concludes today, the recording will be uploaded to our streaming services. You can still log in through our Zoom link. And council, we have to add an item to the agenda to item E, I believe, to the agenda to add the interim contract for Pat Haley.
Mayor, if I may, it's you're adding the GPM consulting agreement to complete the appointment of Mr. Haley.
I was just going to look up your email to get the right language. So, yeah, the contract with JMP Consultants to complete the appointment and retention of Pat Haley as this interim city manager. Could I entertain a motion to approve the amendment to today's agenda?
So move.
Oh,
Okay. Motion by Deputy Mayor Hart, seconded by Councilmember Galvan.
Mayor, if I may, did you also want to add an executive session?
There's one listed.
Yes, and adding an executive session to the end of our agenda to discuss with legal counsel pending or threatening litigation with counsel. It's RCW 42.30.1101G. Do I have to amend that motion, Julie?
I would amend it to add both items.
Okay. Can I entertain an amendment to the initial motion
I will,
to add the executive session?
yes, I will do that.
I'll second.
What?
I will amend the motion to include an executive session.
I'll second.
Thank you. So motion by Deputy Mayor Hart, seconded by Councilor Galvan. I think we're good to go on that. And next on our agenda is invocation. Do we have anybody here to provide us an invocation today? Okay. Stand if you're willing and able to, but please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The invocation day will be a little different format than usual, which is not unusual for the guy presenting it. We'll start out with Our Father and the Lord's Prayer, and there'll be a few comments within the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven. You'll notice it's Our Father, and it's not genderless. This is Our Father. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And our daily bread is the things we need. It's not just bread, it's not just food, it's not just money. It's what do we have to do, the purpose that he set us here to do. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And deliver us from evil. And that doesn't just mean keep us from the bad guys and the bad girls. That means deliver us from evil so that we're not pursuing evil ourselves. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and now we will go with public comments. And remember that the first section of public comments are meant to be germane or relevant to agenda items. Could you pass that over to us, Hector? Thank you. Okay. Action. Chelsea, what subject did you sign up for? Just want to make sure. Okay, so I'll just leave you till the end. Okay, thank you. Okay, so it seems like everybody who signed up, please correct me if I'm wrong, has signed up for general public comment, which is going to happen at the end of our agenda. Right.
So it has nothing to do with the active agenda.
On there for my, was a vote. Voting was the reason that I put on there. So I'd like to make that at the beginning because it has to do with voting. You're not going to be voting tonight, aren't you?
No,
Not going to vote on
voting
anything?
for what?
You're going to vote, not going to vote on anything tonight?
We have agenda items, yes.
Okay,
But
so
which
that was
specific
my-
agenda
that
item?
that was my thing on is for, one at the beginning, I'm trying to get this straight. So you have a citizens participation at the beginning regarding what's going on in the meeting, right?
Anything relevant to any agenda item on the active
Right.
agenda.
And then at the end, if it's not, right?
Correct. And then at the end is general public comment, so you can provide comment on anything or item that you would like to bring forward to council.
Right. Well, this was something I wanted to bring forward to council on. It's in the, there was no agenda in the online, and there's no agenda out here. So we don't know what's there. I actually canceled a meeting so I could be here specifically for this.
The agenda was posted last week.
It said,
Rob, when was the agenda posted?
Wednesday.
said public meeting, but it didn't, it said citizen comment, but it didn't say anything in there that restricted what I was going to say. And so I knew you were going to vote, and this has to do about voting, so I felt that it was in line with what you were going to do.
Council, the rules and procedures were voted by a majority of council to include public comment for agenda items and then add a separate public comment for any general comment from the community. Is this something, is there a consensus to allow Mr. Stevens to insert his comment now, or should we wait? I will pass that on to what the general
I just,
council wants to do.
Madam.
Go ahead.
I think, unless it's a particular member, one of the items in particular, I would suggest waiting till the end to
Well,
talk
I-
about
I-
all of
I-
the different, excuse me,
No, you go ahead.
any of the public comments on just general things would be at the end. If you had, I think that's how we had intended it, so that we would get more comment at the beginning on the items that we were talking about tonight. So there's several items on there, and there's fee schedule, the employment agreements, and a couple of things like that. If there was one of those that you wanted to talk on, I would think that that would probably be the most,
Well,
because otherwise the only voting is just pretty much housekeeping tonight, isn't it?
I don't mean to be
That's just my feeling. That's the way the
Tell them in the agenda, it doesn't state what they're saying. I think that's what you're trying to tell them.
it does say in our policies and procedures, however.
I think what he's trying to say is in the current agenda for today, under public comment, it states, note, citizens are advised that they must limit their remarks to council for 3 minutes. Council may refer to staff to review and or research presentation at a future meeting. It does not state or refer to that there are actually 2 different public comments and what they're to be used for. understand that it's in the procedure, but I'm saying it's not been clarified. That's all I'm trying to
Oh,
make.
And I did go online and
Clarification.
read that. That's why I canceled it. Thank you.
If
That's
I
why I
can,
canceled the other meeting that I had.
So
if I can help you,
Julie, I'm going to leave this to council. It isn't noted on here. I remember I think I had asked the previous city clerk to amend this, but we have been following the rules and procedures
Correct.
that were adopted on January 12th, I believe it was in the new rules and procedures. And this is the way that we've been conducting business for maybe the past couple council
meetings.
meetings. I just want to be fair to everybody who has been told to wait until the end in previous meetings.
You have to put it on there. You have not stated that. You stated that for me, and it doesn't state for all the people in the past, does not matter. What matters is anybody that steps up here should have the information they need in order to conduct things, and that's the way it should be. That's our responsibility as a council, is to
do
inform the
you want to let
public.
him continue, or would you like
properly.
him to be?
Julie, go, did
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So you're right that the agenda doesn't specifically call out, it does have both public comment sessions listed. It doesn't call out the limitations on the public comment in each matter, but the last two meetings, you made it perfectly clear on the record what the two public comment periods were. Going
That's
forward,
for the
yes, the
people, that's for the
agenda.
people that attended the
Excuse me,
meeting and the
sir.
people
This is a
that were here.
disruption.
That
Excuse
is
me.
not for the people to come. This is for all people in this community,
Yeah, I would
not just the
consider him
people
out
that
of
come.
order,
As the
please.
chair, Mr. Stevens, I am going to ask you to wait. This is the way that we've been conducting the meetings the past couple of days, and I do want to be fair to everybody. I apologize that it wasn't clear. We will make sure that we add this to and make the amendments pretty clear on the agenda moving forward. So there's
An agenda out front too.
there's no room for interpretation and it's clear for everybody. Just want to make sure that we're being fair across the board.
To be clear, you're not, number one, I'm not criticizing the argument, but you're not being fair. And number two, I think the attorney's wrong. I don't agree with her at all. But we'll just let things go on and get with the program here.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens.
I'm always right.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Okay, so moving on with the agenda, we're going to present the consent agenda to approve the minutes of the previous meetings. A, payroll vouchers, approve payroll voucher numbers 1590 through 1847 and wire transfers as listed for $547,237.09 for the period ending February 4th, 2026. And C, claim vouchers, approve claim vouchers 1764 through 1914 and wire transfers as listed for $441,545.18 for the period ending on March 4th, 2026. Council, are there any items that you wish to pull from this consent agenda or have any questions? I believe we have Ms. Hofstetter on Zoom. I don't know who. Deputy Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah, the Finance Committee met on Thursday. Mr. Gavon, Ms. Zassetti, and myself, and we went over the claim vouchers for from February through the 4th of February 21 through March 4th. And there were a couple of things that Ms. Hofstetter pointed out to us of things that had come through. Most everything was in good shape, were acceptable, within reason, within budget. There was kind of a confusion on the Ferguson Waterworks order. We had I think we over ordered the water meter somehow. And Ms. Hofstetter, could you explain that real quick, please?
There was an order for water meters. As far as I know, they were all sent back. There was some ordered on January 28th and then again in February. And there was a couple pallets delivered, and I think there was some confusion on when they were supposed to get ordered. And so I believe that the Deputy Public Works Director has sent them all back.
Yes, so this order was made prior to me bringing it to the consent of the council. And after I had received what council would like me to do, I did call them and let them know that there was a certain amount that we needed to be stated. The representative of Ferguson stated that the meters were ordered. I told him he needed to hold off. They did get delivered, but they were sent back also. So as right now, we do not have any water meters, and we should all have a credit from Ferguson.
So Madam.
Go ahead.
So the amount that was in it was item 1967 in our check register for $1,896.50. Was that a fee for returning?
No, that was so when I sent the first batch back, the whole order hadn't came in. So when it showed up, I said I need to send everything back and put it on hold until we are allowed after April to see where their budget's at, to see if we are able to order our water meters. So everything got sent back to Ferguson.
But the
18,000 should have been credited to us.
That's a credit?
It should be a credit.
Monica, it looks like it's a minus, however.
Yeah, so there is a credit, and then I guess our accounts payable clerk called Ferguson for clarification. They said there was probably going to be a restocking fee, but they were waiting for everything to go through before they can give us a total of what was going to be credited or what restocking fee there might be.
Okay. So if that was one of the questions anybody had, that's what that is about.
Counselor Leskis?
Yeah, I feel like I have a few questions. So one of them is going to be, when were these water meters ordered the first time around?
So the first time they were ordered back in October, November.
October, November.
Yes.
And this was before council's like approval to
Yeah.
order?
Yes.
Okay, and did we, or maybe this is a question for Monica, did these numbers come across council in the packet? Because I don't
No,
recall.
so the
Well-
delivery, the accounts payable clerk, when she called, they said that they explained to her that they were ordered in January. And there was two different orders that were made. One was in January, one was in February, is what they had explained to her. She brought them to me because she had seen there was credits, but then there was also multiple invoices that went through to her, so she wasn't sure what was going on. I asked her to call them to clarify. I'm sorry if there's background noise, by the way. So when she called them to clarify, they had stated that these two orders had went through in January and then also, I believe, in February. And they were totaling around $170,000 worth of meters. And then the pallets were delivered, and then those pallets were all picked up and sent back.
So part of an answer to your question, Ms. Vasquez, is that we did in February, I believe, approve a contract or a bid for the ones that were ordered in February, but I don't think the ones in January, we didn't see a bid for that one. It was just the one in February. But that's the reason we have this return fee.
Mhm.
And we will, as I understand it, we will be ordering the water meters come April.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, we'll go to Dolan and then Counselor Dolan.
These are for Monica. I just don't know what these are, and I'd like you to explain these real quick, like for me. I tried to call you, but you're already on the road. 1807, 1962, 1968, 1969, 1988, and then everything from 1829 to 1845 is one question.
Question?
So that's a lot of them. If you want to ask me what your questions are on them, I can probably answer them.
You probably can. The
It is out.
1829 to 1845, my question is, where does this go?
18, let me get back to the right page here.
It's the last page before the end of the check register.
Mhm.
Okay, so so the finance committee got to get a little lesson here, so I'm going to go ahead and go over this also with the whole council so that it's much easier to understand. When you're looking at the check register, there's going to be account numbers. You're going to see an account number 1, you're going to see an account number 2, and then you're going to see an account number 6. These are our 3 bank accounts. The account number 1 is our main bank account. This is what all of our bills will be coming out of. And then when you see the account number 2, this is going to be our jail. The jail has the commissary orders, inmate prescriptions, and so forth that they will be spending out of. Then you're going to see the account number 6. The account number 6 is our courts. Our courts have to pay back any of the restitutions, or we have to forward the bill refunds to the correct cities or back to the individuals that they belong to. So all of those number 6s are going to be within the courts themselves. So we get the court information, and all the backup for those court documents are held within the courts themselves. We get just kind of a court record with the memos so that we can do the refunds back to, or the bill refund back to who it belongs to, and or it goes to the city it belongs to. So those ones that you're looking at there are all going to be within the court systems.
Thank you. And while we're on the courts, number 1969, that's account number 1 for Brian Giesler.
Please don't use their
Okay.
name.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm curious, why is that a 2025 item?
So we have a contract with our attorneys that do the public defense, and all of those contracts have a maximum number of cases. And I believe Julie might be able to explain this a little better, because I'm not really up to par on how the courts run, but I believe that there's a legal benchmark of how many they're allowed to do. And they recently actually just lowered it. We had 300 prior, and now I believe it's like 250 or 200 that they're allowed to do this year. And so what happens is if they go over that number, then we have to pay them X amount for every single case that they have. And so that's what that is that's an actual payment of over assigned cases. So their caseload was bigger than what was within their contract.
And who approves those payments?
It's part of their contract. We have to approve them because it comes through the contract that was approved through the previous city manager and council, I believe.
So nobody in the court system looks those over before they get to us?
They do. So the court gives us a documentation of all of the cases. And so what we'll do is we'll do a audit of those cases with a copy. So we'll now request a slip of everything, plus we'll take all the ones that they've sent us from the courts. So we get them from 2 different places. They're supposed to come directly from the attorneys themselves, and then the courts will also provide us a copy of the caseloads. And we don't get all the information. We just get the caseload number with a name. So that way we can start matching everything up. And so we'll go back and we'll start reconciling. And if we find anything that is not reconciling correctly, we'll take it back to them with our findings, and then we'll have to do an adjustment with those.
Okay, let's skip to 1962. What is the time frame that covers?
Which one is this for? 62. Oh, this is correctional, and these are inmate meals.
Yeah, that's what he's looking
Okay.
at.
Yeah, so they the jails bill those out monthly, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I know that Chief Lehman would be able to answer that, but that statement says it's for February, so those were for the February meals, so he billed them out February 10th. And so those get billed out monthly.
Thank you.
They come in weekly, but we usually process the lump sum at the end of the month. So there'll be like 4 invoices processed at once, and the city will cut one check for that lump sum.
See, great. That knocks it down a lot closer for me. 1807.
Those are travel for training, I believe. Monica?
Yep, and those are
has-
for firefighters, and Chief Holbrook can answer those ones. Those are per diem for the IFSAC, which I'm not sure what that is. He would be able to tell you.
Yeah, I can explain that. So what that is in the last couple of years, the Yakima County Training Officers Consortium facilitates a large majority of IFSAC, which is a International Fire Service Accreditation Congress. They're pretty much the facilitators and governors of fire service credentialing. And so when we put on a test, a credentialing test, we have to have evaluators, a test control officer, a senior evaluator, and so on and so forth. And so what the process has been the last couple of years is that it's facilitated through the Yakima County Training Officers Association, and then we get billed per student, and that covers the cost of the evaluators, the test control officer, the paperwork, the whole process that goes with it. So that amount there is, again, multiple different invoices from multiple tests combined.
So your students show up untrained on this stuff and you have to train them on it?
No, this is for credentialing. Certifications, yeah. So this would be the certification testing process that would follow an academy or a course or whatever the case might be.
So how often do you have to do that?
So for each individual, once you get your certification, it's good for a lifetime. So it would just these be just additional certifications or new hires getting those certifications.
Perfect. Thank you.
You bet.
Let's see. I had one more for you. 1988.
Okay.
So this is our membership annual fee to the Yakima Valley Conference of Governments.
Oh, yep.
And this one was broke out into 3 areas, and I'm going to see if I can find it quickly. Part of that's going to be our crime lab assessment, and part of that's going to be our fees, our membership fees to the Yakima Valley Conference of Government. And I'm trying to find it because I know I went back and forth with Monica on this one because we were.
I think also emergency management.
Is that what the
Yeah.
last one was?
Yeah, yeah,
Professional
there's an
services.
emergency management, the actual professional services is our annual membership, and then the crime lab portion of it, it's for services they provide to the city.
And then also the emergency management assessment, I believe it is. And that's an annual thing.
So it's that much every year.
And it's approved by council.
Didn't realize they did so much for us.
Oh, yeah, they do quite a lot.
Good to know. Thank you very much.
Anyone else have any questions or want to pull any item? Counselor Vasquez?
Yeah, so I'll pull an item. So actually, it's going to be on one of the approval of the minutes. January 9th meeting, on the roll call, council present. It's still stating Deputy Mayor George Galvan on the first sentence, and then going a little bit lower, again, Deputy Mayor Galvan. So just that modification, if that could be removed and just updated.
Is that-
Was that council, is it because
Election?
he was still deputy mayor on January 9th, I think up until January 12th?
Okay, then yes,
I'm assuming that's why the note's
Yes.
still there.
then yes.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because his term still went over.
Correct,
I
okay.
think.
I just
Yeah,
wasn't
I'm
wasn't-
assuming.
entirely
Yeah.
sure, okay. Makes sense.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Just real quick. Monica, going back to 1969 on the case overload, we also discussed some sort of oversight on part of maybe the courts, because at the moment we're kind of just leaving it to the attorneys, I guess, discretion, right? To let us know that their cases are are a little bit too much than what the state requires. So I think that's something that we also discussed at the finance subcommittee. So I would want to touch on that, we do need some
Yeah.
oversight on that.
Correct. And so what we're doing is we're gonna make sure that the reconciliations are gonna be done quarterly. And not only that, we're gonna make a recommendation and email out to the attorneys if they could please, if they think they're going to be getting close to that caseload number, then they can then reach out to us and let us know so that we will have a heads up and be able to make sure that the council is aware that they have reached that contract limit.
Thank you, Monica.
Anyone else?
Yeah. So one last thing. So going back to the whole water meters situation, I guess for me it's just a bit concerning to know that, like it was probably ordered before council giving approval. And like what can we do to just kind of like avoid not like mistakes, but large sums of amounts of money to be ordered beforehand.
Well, I think that particular amount was outside of anybody's spending authority. It should have come to council in the first place. So I think it was a lesson learned. I didn't have anything to do with this way before me, but in this position. So I think that's the case.
Okay.
And the person that ordered is no longer with us. He moved on to another job. So when that order was made, it wasn't brought to our attention till we started talking about the water meters again. He goes, "Well, I made that order." And I was like, "No, you had no authority. How do we even have an estimate, a quote, all that?" Because obviously we know it had to come up to your guys' attention prior to being made that order. So, but I've informed the new supervisor that as we go forward, we have to make sure we appraise council, let them know what we're ordering and how much it's going to be, because obviously we have a threshold and we have to be within those numbers. So.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good question. Anyone else? Okay. Hearing none. What is the desire of council?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Deputy Mayor Hart, second by Councilor Vasquez. Is there any other discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and initiate a roll call. I'll start from the end over there. Councilor Chavez,
Yes.
Councilor Cesati,
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilor Dolan,
Yes.
Councilor Galvan,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to the active agenda. First item on our agenda is approving the Sunnyside Police Department to participate in a K-9 program. I believe this would be yours.
When I printed this, I'm not sure why my cover sheet didn't print, but I am asking for a budget amendment of $2,000. And what that would cover is any expenses that come up last minute and we need to purchase something right away. But the rest of the funds for the K-9 program will come from donations and the Yakima County K-9 Foundation. So I've prepared a resolution that I've provided to council. The Yakima County K-9 Foundation pays most of the expenses as far as vet bills or anything like that. To put in context, Yakima Police Department has 3 K-9s. Their annual budget's $7,000. That's what they expect on a broken leash that they need to purchase in the middle of the night or something like that. And they said they typically don't even spend that. The K-9 Foundation takes care of most of it. We do need to come up with an initial investment of $50,000, but we plan on seeking donations for that. It wouldn't come out of city money.
Thank you, Mr. Interim City Manager. Go ahead, Councilor Dolan.
Is there a certification process for these dogs? I mean, are they actually certified?
Yes. So we've selected a handler through an internal testing process. There is a class that starts in the first week of April in Yakima, which would be our preference to get them into. Although I think we're going to be pretty tight on raising $50,000 in the next month. But it's about I think it's about an 8-week school. And then the dog and the handler have to be certified together.
And
And
they
the-
are, how old are the dogs?
They go down to Alabama and select the dogs. Typically the senior handlers from the area. So I know Yakima is sending 2 senior handlers down to Alabama. I think they leave tomorrow to pick up 2 dogs and bring them back for their 2 new canines. They would probably select our dogs as well. And I'm not 100% sure on the age. I've never been a canine handler, but they're also required 16 hours a month of training.
Counselor Chavez?
So I know we spoke about this before. You said they also have 2 different type of canines, correct?
Correct.
One would be for drug.
One would be a narcotics canine, and one would be what's called a patrol canine. So we're seeking a patrol canine, and the reason for that is there's already a narcotics canine in Grandview and Toppenish, and currently there are no patrol canines stationed in the lower valley. There is one deputy that's sometimes down here, but not always. And then there's one deputy that's stationed out of their central office in Yakima. And then YPD has 2 or 3 patrol canines. And then the Yakima County Jail has 2 narcotics canines. And those dogs are all funded through the Yakima County Canine Foundation, and they're available to us if we need them. We have brought them into our jail several times. The question was brought up about school searches, and I spoke with the superintendent about that. He is a little bit reluctant to do it. And the reason is back when we were all probably in school, everybody used a locker to put your stuff in. I don't know about you, but back when I was in school, everybody had a locker. And the kids don't use lockers anymore, apparently. I didn't know that. And so he said, it's not like you can have the kids in the classroom and you run the dog down the hallway and they sniff the lockers like they used to do. He said, you'd have to run the dogs around the actual kids. I don't think that parents would probably be too keen on that. So, but we do bring them into our jail about once a month. Usually the Department of Corrections canines, because they're comfortable in the jail environment and they work in them regularly.
Any other questions? Counselor Vasquez?
Yeah, so I have a question. So you mentioned again.
They
that
how
they're
long
having-
did y'all go? Speak out, please.
What is that?
I think somebody spoke out of turn. Okay, well, let's be careful with that. You know what happened last time. Sorry, Counselor Vasquez.
So you mentioned again they're having to raise the $50,000, and you mentioned it all coming in through donations. Are you pretty confident that you will be able to lock that in? And I'm just asking because a scenario, right? Let's say a scenario, only 40,000 comes in through donations. Will then the city have to cover the remaining 10? And it's just something that crossed my mind right now.
Well, I'm not asking the city for any money. My intention is not to. So my intention is to do this through donations, whether that takes us 2 weeks and one person does it, or that takes us 6-8 months, because that's where we got to get. That's where we got to get is 50 grand, and we need to get that through donations. I think that's a hefty burden on the city with the current budget situation, and I won't ask that. I won't ask the city. That's going to be on the handler to seek donations. I've already talked to him about it, and so that's our intentions to get it from the community. So.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Go ahead, Counselor Cesati.
So do you guys not have a time frame by when you need to have the $50,000?
Well, if one person came forward with it tomorrow, we would get him into that April school. I'm not as confident that we'll be able to do that. So we'll have to find him a school after April 1st. But Yakima is running a school April 1st. If we could get that funds raised by then, that would be phenomenal. I just don't know if we'll be able to do it in the 2.5 weeks.
Okay. One,
Go ahead.
or maybe I'll let.
I don't think anybody else. Does anybody else have a question?
Just a clarification on the resolution on the second whereas, where it says the interim city manager and Monica have negotiated personal service agreement establishing the existing terms and conditions. Does that have to do with this, or is that
I'm not sure how that got.
Are we
on
giving the dog a contract? Or?
I'm not sure how that got on there.
Employment.
That looks like that's from cut from a different contract, I think, that we were
Yep.
working on.
I think we can eliminate that whereas.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was wondering
Yeah,
about that.
I think that was one for Miss,
Yeah, that'll come up later.
yeah. Cut and paste got a little crazy right there, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So my last question was gonna be, will you guys be announcing the donation, seeking donations here soon?
Yeah, we'll probably be posting on our Facebook page. I didn't want to do anything until it came to council. I didn't want you guys to see it somewhere else before you had a chance to approve it. So that, actually, he asked, can we put it on the Facebook page? And I said, after council approves it. So that's why I'm here tonight. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Counselor Galvan.
I have a few other questions, Chief. Do we have policies in place for this?
We do. So we use a company called Lexipol for our policy, which is a group of attorneys that have police policies in pretty much every state in the country, and they tailor them specific to the state that they're in. And they have a whole module on canines. And then I was also able to get YPD's policy to look at, and I was also able to get a policy from WCIA. And so we're going to take those and come up with the best policy we can. I'll run it by WCIA. Just one other thing to note, when I was checking with WCIA, there is no increase in our insurance costs for having a canine, because that was one question I had.
Okay. And then I understand that the canine goes home with an officer. Have you selected the officer? And if so, is the officer somebody that lives here close to Sunnyside, or?
They live about 25 minutes away. And with their union contract, they have to live within 30 minutes to be considered for a specialty.
Okay. And then any vehicle updates that we need to do?
So that 50,000 will cover the cost of the dog. It's called a hot pop, which opens the officer can hit a button and their door will open. Changing out the back seat from a current cage to maybe a quarter cage so that the dog has room to move around the back seat. That 50,000 will buy a bite suit. It will buy everything needed for the dog.
And then one last question, if I may. Do we get to name the dog? Can we make it a?
Actually, that's kind of a, if somebody came forward with 50,000, that's kind of a right that they typically reserve. So I know that the sheriff's office has several dogs that were named by donors. So I'm not sure which one of the hop companies, but one of the hop companies paid for one whole dog at the sheriff's office, and that dog's named Simcoe, which is a variety of hops. Yep. So, yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Darn, where's my 50,000 when I need it? Name a dog.
Any other questions? For Mr. Lehman? Hearing none. What is the desire of council?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Vasquez. I got a second from Counselor Galvan. Okay, any other discussion? Yep, hearing none. I'll go ahead and initiate a roll call. Counselor Chavez?
Yes.
Counselor Sasati?
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez?
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Dolan?
Yes.
Counselor Galvan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is B, amend fee schedule to reflect ambulance utility rate change. Approve a resolution authorizing an increase in the ambulance utility rate to $22.40 per ERU. Chief Albrecht, you're here today to speak to this item. I'll go ahead and hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. I apologize. I was not able to attend last meeting. I had been in bed for about 4 days straight with a nice little bug going around. So he didn't want me here, I'll tell you that. So, but just bringing up, we came to council a couple times with a couple separate presentations. We presented to the previous finance committee, current public safety subcommittee, and hopefully answered most, if not all, the questions you guys have. Of course, I can field any more that you might have. We requested and received direction from council at the last meeting that we spoke on the matter, and so now we're presenting it for implementation. The one thing I do just want to draw real quick attention to, I apologize for a slight typo in the cover sheet summary portion. It is listed at 2340 ERU. That is incorrect. However, the dollar amount is correct in the resolution and all other items. I just want to draw attention to that quick typo there. I apologize. So I'll open for any questions or any further information.
Council, any immediate questions? Counselor Chavez?
So how urgent is this to move forward with it?
So that's a kind of a, I guess, subjective question. You know, for me, I'd say, oh, it's urgent. We want to get going on this, which is the case. It's really more of a matter of council priorities. And so we do know that any type of significant change in whether it be staffing or operations, there's quite a bit of implementation process that goes to it to make sure that our I's are dotted, our T's are crossed. And so this is something that even if, it's approved today, it's going to be some time before things go into full swing to make sure we're going through the processes correctly and appropriately. And so any delays in approval would just delay implementation. And the other component would be is, if and when we'd be able to provide these services at no cost out of pocket to our citizens.
Go ahead.
Deputy Mayor.
Chief, wasn't one of the reasons that we were being asked to make this increase was because of the cost of providing the service?
That is correct. And so just unfortunately with inflation, rising costs across the board, everything goes up. Everything from fuel to equipment to everything that goes in and providing services, costs go up. And so the direction from our consultant was, the two different kind of tiers or values that we brought to council a couple times were, this is where we need to be to maintain status quo. Here's where we need to be to implement any growth, expansion of services, improvements to our WSRB ratings, and so on and so forth. So does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, but I have just a kind of a follow-up to that, if it's all right.
Yes.
Because the second thing was, and you just mentioned it just now too, is that this, by citizens paying this, the 2240 should it be passed, that you said something about that those services have been provided to residents free?
Correct. So the intent of upon approval of this rate change is that we've worked with our finance department, our consultants, and validated that it would be within our budget and financial well-being that we'd be able to provide services to City of Sunnyside residents or those who pay that utility to not have any out-of-pocket transport costs for use of their ambulance service. And again, that would be reserved for City of Sunnyside residents. Any services outside of the city would be billed as normal.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That was my main concern there.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Councilor Galvan.
So Chief, see where I could begin, right? So in 2025, you had roughly 4,500 calls.
Approximately, yeah. I believe we had 4,401.
And I shot you an email, I think it was back in February, asking you to kind of break down those calls as to how many calls were within city limits, which is the people that are effectively paying this monthly rate. And you replied with 2,821 of those 4,500 were within city limits, and additional 1,025 within Grandview limits. We don't have any contract with Grandview, right? They don't pay.
No, we do, and they do pay a monthly
So
service.
we pay a monthly, okay. And that's what, roughly about 60%? So 60% of the calls are within city limits. How else are we getting funded besides the Grandview contract?
We're being funded by transport revenues.
Just the transport revenue?
Correct, for outside the city. That's correct.
So if we respond to a call outside city limits and there's no transport, we don't get paid for that?
That is correct.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. So outside the city limits of Sunnyside and Grandview.
Sunnyside, okay.
Yep. So unincorporated areas, and that equates to about 500 calls a year outside the city limits of Sunnyside and Grandview. There would be, in essence, 500 calls that we only receive revenue from transports.
Okay. I'll let you go ahead.
I was asking, it's probably, might be the next one you're going to ask, but I'm just, aren't the insurance companies charged for that out of those 500 calls?
If there's a transport, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Or a service rendered, yes. So there's, yeah. But as far as, if we go, let's say we're canceled in a route or we don't make patient contact or provide any sort of interventions or transports, more often than not, there's no revenue associated with that.
Okay. But if somebody does get transported and they're not a resident of the city or.
Correct. The insurance and or the patient is billed.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure there was some payment
Yeah,
maybe.
so again, that's what we refer to as transport revenue. That's, yeah, costs associated to the patient for providing care and transport to the hospital.
Thank you.
Is this, I know from your presentation, it increased, right, with the years. Is this going to be a rate that's going to get increased each year going forward, and it has to be approved before council?
So yes, well, yes to both. So following the consultant's direction and advice is that we have a smaller increase to keep up with inflation that would not be to the increase that we're asking for today because we're trying to achieve a couple different things. It would be just the rate to pretty much keep us status quo, if that makes sense. But any sort of rate increase whatsoever, whether it's 2 cents or $2 or whatever, that has to come to council for approval.
So I was noticing the amounts in 2016, it was $8.28 per ERU. With the new apartments coming in, is each apartment considered an ERU?
So, and that's an excellent question, and I'm trying to get some clarity on that because I'm by no means the billing expert, especially with utility billing. The calculations for an ERU are I want to say unique, which I'm trying to look for. It's I don't have an answer for you, sir, and that would be a question for our utility billing. I believe so. If each separate unit, and Monica, I'm not sure if you're able to weigh in on this at all, but if each separate unit receives their own utility bill, then that would be a separate ERU, is my understanding.
That's my understanding as well, is that it's done by address on, I believe, apartments, but then there's some places that do not receive it as a separate apartment, like care facilities, for instance. They don't.
Did we
I can
take
get
into
clarification. I can get clarification from our utility billing person, and she'll be able to answer exactly like how that, it's in the ordinance, how it was billed out. And so I can ask her.
did we use those apartments? I guess those apartments going up on Lincoln, right? I think it's over 700 apartments. Did we use that data when this group made the recommendations?
So that specific complex, no, but they did factor in a growth component to those rates. So that is factored in, yes.
Okay. That's all I got.
Any other questions? Counselor Dolan?
I was curious about how many firefighters you have and how many EMTs you have.
Total. So
Yeah.
currently we have 18 career staff, about a dozen volunteers, and 6 residents. All of our career staff are EMTs, and off the top of my head, I believe all but maybe 1 or 2 of our volunteers are EMTs, including residents.
How many firefighters do you have?
Total, 18 plus 30, 36 roughly total.
So the firefighters are EMTs.
Correct.
And how many of those are level 3 hazmat?
I'd have to look in the training records. I don't have that off the top of my head, sir. I apologize. I will say in the state of Washington, in order to be a professional firefighter, you are required to have your EMT. Volunteers, it's very strongly encouraged and promoted, but it is not currently a requirement in the state of Washington.
Did you have a question, Deputy Mayor?
No.
Comment?
No.
Go ahead, Counselor Vasquez.
So I don't remember the exact amount, but I remember in one of the last meetings, I had the amount of what we will be increasing. Was it like around $2 something?
$2.40, well, from 19, so yeah, it'd be $3.40.
$3.40? Okay, and you said right now it's currently at 19?
Correct.
Even?
19 flat, yep.
19 even. Okay, and then it'd be now to 22.40. Can you give me like could you give us a brief summary of what this is for and like the benefits and what good the community can see out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if we have it, I can always reference back to my presentation as well. But what we're seeing out of it is kind of multifaceted. So one is again, to be able to offer transport services at no out-of-pocket cost to our community members. So that's number one. Number two, what we're looking at with staffing is improvement in increasing or actually technically decreasing our WSRB rating, which, if you recall, is what helps dictate insurance premiums for homeowners and business owners. And so the lower our WSRB rating, the lower insurance premiums are on those properties. And so what we have aimed and have used our WSRB rating and gone over, I wouldn't call them necessarily deficiencies, but areas for improvement that we can see those percentages increase, which makes our score decrease. It's like golf, we want a lower score, right? And so again, the lower our score, the better insurance premiums are for, again, our homeowners and business owners. And so that's kind of the direct correlation there. So by improving staffing, improving our line supervision, that equates to improved scores in our WSRB rating, which again correlates to improved or decreased insurance premiums.
Okay. And this will also help with quicker response times.
Certainly. So, anytime that we can increase staffing across the board, we have quicker responses, especially when we have what we call like stacked calls. So 2, 3, 4 calls going on simultaneously. We're able to not have any delays or have fewer delays in responses when we run into that, which is not uncommon for our agency.
Okay. And can I ask one more question?
Yeah. Then we'll go to council.
And going back to the consultants, if I recall correctly, they had mentioned that another reason being that there is a high increase is because over the years there hasn't been an increase. It's always kind of just stay the same and stay the same. And therefore there's always consequences to not picking up or not adding an increase when it should be added, because eventually sooner or later we're going to feel the consequences
Correct,
of
the catch-up.
those actions. So is this true?
Yes.
It hasn't been.
Well, and to reference for Galvan's comment, I believe, sure, you referenced in 2016, the rates were roughly $8 to some.
28.
So there has been, and kind of for the limited information I have going years prior to me being employed to the city of Sunnyside, the rates were either not increased or they're increased, I don't want to use the word arbitrarily, but without some sort of consulting or guidance to where and why. And so according to our consultants, we have been behind the curve, if you will, in our rates, and due to a lack of increase in keeping up with pace and expenses. That answers your question.
Thank you.
Councilor Chavez?
So, we recently had an increase in our utility bills. So the question that I'm going to ask is, we're going to have another increase of 2240, correct?
Well, yeah, up to
2240. Okay. When would the next increase go?
So that's at council's discretion. So typically what the consultant and what is done historically is on an annual basis. But if it's the desire of council that, let's say this is approved and we want to take a year off, if you will, that's council's discretion. My concern is that, if we don't keep up with pace, then we're going to be back to kind of being behind the curve, if you will. But what the consultant built out for the next couple of years, the increase is much smaller than what we're asking for today. And I can actually provide those specifics if you like. Here is 1 second. So what they've forecasted and recommended would be over the next 5 years, roughly $1.20.
Is that,
There was a couple other questions. Councilor Sasate, Councilor Dolan had his hand up first, and then I'll come over to you. Go ahead, Councilor Dolan.
I see you have extrication here. Can you extrapolate?
Are you talking about our fee schedule?
Those big words, yeah.
So those were before my time. That, to my understanding and to my recollection, the intent for those was to go through a different program called, I believe it's fire recovery, and that is a cost reimbursement based on fire services, which is pretty rare for this area. And when those were initiated into the fee schedule, we did not have a process in place for doing such cost recovery, if that makes sense.
Not a lot. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, what is your duties when you do an extrication? Is that, jaws of life, cutting the top off a car and pulling somebody out of there? And
When we're talking the definition of extrication as a whole, it's not just that, but to my understanding, what the definition for the fee schedule is, yes, is use of jaws of life or advanced extrication. But the term extrication in the fire and EMS service is very broad. I mean, it could literally be just us assisting somebody out of a vehicle. But for the intents and purposes of the fee schedule or what you're referring to there, my assumption is that it's referring to extrication with, jaws of life and that process there.
if you have a victim in a car in the canal, you're not allowed to go in the water. Is that understanding correct?
It depends on the circumstances, the level of water, where the vehicle's located, so on and so forth. There's a lot of variables that come into play with that. And the defining criteria is based on the certification levels of our staff and making sure that we're in line with L&I and not violating any workplace procedures.
How many of your guys have those qualifications?
Currently, I have one.
Just want to make sure we're keeping this relevant to the ambulance utility rate for Mr. Hobbrick here. Go ahead, Counselor Sasati.
Earlier you said it could take some time to implement procedure and so forth. So if this gets approved, will the rates increase once it's implemented or right away?
So again, that would be the discretion of council. So typically it's going to be once it's approved by council, and by implementation, what I'm referring to there is, what we're proposing is the promotion of 3 existing staff members, the hiring of 2 additional, and there's that process that goes with that because we have an established process for promotions. We have an established process for hiring that includes everything from testing process, background checks, psychology examination, physical examination, that whole process. So that's where I would say take a little bit. It's not as if this would be approved and tomorrow morning we're going to have 2 more firefighters and 3 lieutenants. It's the process of, I guess, more or less hiring and onboarding or promoting that would take a little bit of time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Did you have an additional comment?
No, I'm fine.
But I'm sorry, if you don't mind, just to finish on that is the process would be started immediately. Just final product would take a little bit of.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Just one more. Chief, so without this or with this, you're saying that eventually we were trying to provide if a city resident has to be transported to the hospital, it would be free of cost, right?
If there'd be no out-of-pocket
There
cost.
would be no out-of-pocket to them. Without this increase, you're not able to do that?
Based on what we've talked with, or what the guidance advice of the consultants, and then I'll have Monica weigh in on this, but the short answer would be no, not to my knowledge.
Okay, so pretty much what we're looking at is, a $3 increase or so. It's kind of like an insurance, right? An insurance policy for the residents of Sunnyside, to where if they do need the ambulance, they could know that they're not going to receive a bill. And half of the time, our residents here, they have an emergency, they use an ambulance, they get a bill. It's, it takes them back. They might not have save up, money for that extra. I don't know what bill would cost, $1,200. I'm not sure what it
1,200 and up, yeah, which our fees for transport are substantially less than other areas as a whole because we want to make it affordable. And I don't mean to cut you off, sir. Just one kind of anecdote I'd like to share is, while I wouldn't be able to provide you exact statistics, it is not uncommon for us to have patients who, in our professional opinion, are in need of transport, but have serious concerns about costs and sometimes decline transport services because of concerns about costs.
So it could potentially save a life, right? So if they're not worrying about getting a bill in the month or so, they could, say, hey, yeah, take me to the hospital. It's not going to cost me, but it's going to cost them $3 a month, sort of say.
Correct.
I mean, if you know me, I mean, I don't like increases, just like nobody else here. I don't think they like increases, but, you know, for $3 a month, I think that's a good call. And we're getting a lot in return. If we weren't getting that in return, I wouldn't be going for this, but we are definitely getting something good in return.
That's our hope and that's our intent.
Thank you.
I know, I see a last couple comments.
You know, I want to kind of add to what Mr. Galvan said is now with the ambulance, would that only be to Sunnyside Hospital
Oh,
or would it be okay for Prosser or Toppenish?
correct.
Okay, or wherever the patient decides to go for
So-
transfer?
Correct. So we follow the Yakima County protocols and Yakima County, what they're called COPS or county operating procedures. And so there are some limitations. So for example, if we pick up a patient, they're like, I want to go to Harborview. Well, we're not going to transfer to Harborview. It has to be the closest, most appropriate facility. However, when we're talking Prosser, Toppenish, you know, Sunnyside, they're all close enough where the argument, if you will, to take them to their desired hospital is a very easy argument to justify. So we take patients to their desired hospital all the time. We don't, you know, within reason, we don't deny patient their destination of choice. And with that being said, depending on the needs of the patient, we do transport beyond that. We will transport to Yakima or Cadillac in the Tri-Cities based on patient's condition or needs because we want to make sure that they're getting the most appropriate care for their ailment.
Go ahead, Counselor Vasquez.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add on to Counselor Galvan's comment because, dang my voice. Because he made actually a very valid point. You know, there's a lot of people that I know that are from the city of Sunnyside, and a lot of them don't have insurance, and a lot of them have needed to go to the hospital, but refuse to make that ambulance call because everyone knows that it's expensive and it's not just accessible for everyone. So even like being able to even like maybe push that as well with this announcement, just to kind of push like, hey, we just want everyone to know, you know, that if you're a resident in the city of Sunnyside, you can now have this service provided for you and you will not be charged an out-of-pocket fee. I think just even like making that clear will be very key moving forward if this does get approved.
I 100% agree.
Any other comments? Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
To approve?
I second.
Got a motion by Counselor Galvan, seconded by Counselor Chavez. Discussion? Hearing no more discussion. Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Sasati,
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez,
Yes.
Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Counselor Galvan,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart.
Yes.
Okay. I'll also vote yes for the good of the order. Motion carries. But yes, I agree, communications are going to be key after the passing of this. So item C is goes hand in hand. It's tangent to item B, and that's going to be the 2026 fee schedule. Approve a resolution amending the schedule of fees and charges to reflect the $22.40 per ERU. Counselors, any questions regarding the amendments to the fee schedule? Go ahead.
This is the only one that we're making tonight is the $22.
This is Ms. Hofstadter's item, but to
Yeah.
answer, I believe that is correct.
Ms. Hofstadter, is there anything else you'd like to add? I didn't.
No, right now, this is the
Number two.
only
Okay.
item to add. And then I guess the only thing I would request is if you guys are approving this, do you want to set a date when the fee schedule would be enacted so that it would actually start?
Madam,
Go ahead.
isn't, or Rob, maybe you know, isn't it usually after the publication, 5 days after that?
Yes, I believe so. And we're on the 9th of March, so I'm assuming it would go in next month's bill. So we would have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Like, when do you bill, Monica? When did they send out the bills, do you know? For utilities? You're muted.
Oh, Jeffette's working on it.
Okay.
There we go.
So this month's billing for last month, we're always a month behind in the billing, so we're gonna be billing here, I believe, tomorrow. And then, so I would say that, this would probably take effect for, we're doing February, so March is coming. So then I would take effect for April's billing.
So,
Go ahead.
well, since we already know that we just have the one, so I'd like to make the motion to adopt the ordinance approving the 2026 fee schedule regarding the utility rate per ERU 2240 to take effect in the April billing, utility billing.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Deputy Mayor Hart. Have a second from Councilmember Vasquez. Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Sasati,
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez,
Yes.
Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Counselor Galvan,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart.
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries.
And Madam Mayor, if I might, to begin to move forward, we will exhaust our media outlet sources to get the information out to the benefits of our community. And any suggestions or advice for specific media outlets that you guys might have, I'd love to hear them and make sure we target those as well.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is D, Finance Director Employment Agreement. Approve a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute a personal services agreement with Monica L. Hofstadter to serve as the City of Sunnyside's Finance Director. Mr. City Manager.
So right now, our finance director has left. She's moving across the country. She's a couple states away, I believe. And until we can get that position filled, Monica's working on a couple of projects right now, and that's reconciling 2024, 2025. She's found some things that need to be cleaned up. We have some federal reporting that needs to be done, as well as some other reporting. So my request is that we keep her on, and she's able to work remote to continue those tasks until we can get a finance director hired. We have hired a couple of positions in the finance department that are going to start on the 16th. She's laid out training for them for the first 2 weeks already. Or was it week or 2 weeks? I believe.
It's a pretty in-depth first week, and then the second week, my goal was to put together a more detailed streamlining, so that way we could really get a fast track on this timeline to complete some of these items that are imperative to be able to finish those financial records for annual reporting.
So she has a plan for those new employees, even though she won't be in the building. And it is really detailed, actually. I was impressed. So Julie wrote up this contract, and I'm asking that you approve it. It is a little bit less than what she's currently making, and Monica was okay with that. She is willing to help, and so I'm asking that you continue to let her.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
One of the things that when we were looking over the copy of the contract, it wasn't open-ended, but didn't have a close date on it, because it kind of was going to reflect as quickly as she was able to get the prescribed duties done. So it could be, I don't know, what did we say? Did we even have a date, Monica?
I think
No,
the
there wasn't a
exhibits is when the
specific
work is
date.
completed.
Yeah,
Um,
that was it. Thank you.
yeah. So she has if you go to Exhibit A, it's a scope of work.
Yes.
It talks exactly about what she'll be handling. She will not be handling the HR stuff, which she was, or the IT stuff while she's, her concentration is going to be strictly on finance. We need to get that straightened out.
Yeah. That was it. That was my clarification.
Go ahead.
So I really like this just because we need some sort of consistency here. We've had different finance managers throughout the whole, 2 years. And if Monica can really help us clean this up and do the reconciliation, I believe you would still be meeting with us at the finance subcommittee, correct? I think we decided.
Correct. I also, the LTAC needs to have a meeting here really soon, so I need to set up an LTAC meeting. Finance committee needs to be meeting to go over claims, and then I would still also meet, Mondays with council as well.
And so I know it's an open-ended contract, but I think the finance subcommittee can really, hold her feet to the fire and make sure that we get this done because, right now we're kind of flying blind. We don't know where we're at. We could be good, we could be bad. We could be down in the middle. So I really do appreciate this help, Monica, that you're providing to us, especially serving in between managers, so you could bring them up to date to exactly what we need to do. And I think some of the times that's where we get these late fees is to the new person doesn't know that, hey, there's a deadline coming up or there's something that we need to do. So I really appreciate it, Monica.
Yeah, my goal also is to be able to have a really itemized list for the person that comes in my role and to kind of walk them through, obviously some of the things that we had discussed during the budgeting process, because it's going to be important that they hit some of those line items. The $1 million will be coming up here soon for the March, so we're going to have to bring that to council to address that $1 million bond that's going to be released. And there's a couple other items that are going to be needed to take care of sooner rather than later.
The other luxury of a contract like this is if we can maybe bring to council for a slight amendment that if she stays on for a month, maybe when the new person's hired to cross-train them on all the things she's found and how she's handling her accounting practices and things like that. That's something I don't think we've ever had when we've lost a finance person. The next person comes on and recreates everything. So
And we'd like to, excuse me, I'm talking out of turn now. Yeah. And I think we liked, and when we've talked with, I think the finance committee last year's and this year's, I think we've all agreed that, if we can put together a worksheet like that helps to get people on the same page. So we don't need to be reinventing the wheel every time we get a new person in that job. And so this, I think, is really going to be a big asset to us to be able to do the onboarding, as it's called now, in a much more efficient manner. So thank you for that, Monica. I appreciate that.
Counselor Vasquez.
Yeah, and it'll also be helpful for you to be able to bring them all up to speed since they will be new. I'm just even explaining the whole situation with the bond. And I just had one question. So I do see it's $50 hourly. The amount budgeted is $135,000 with $200. This is the amount that will be capped at, correct? Like it won't go.
that's what would be approved by council. If we were to exceed that, we'd have to come back.
Okay, sounds good.
And I don't know how fast Monica's going to be able to work, but maybe we don't even get there. But that's another option as well.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to approve the resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute a personal services agreement with Monica L. Hofstetter to serve as City of Sunnyside's financial director per the resolution. Does it have a number?
It has not been
It
assigned.
hasn't been assigned a number, but resolution 2026 and number to be assigned.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Deputy Mayor Hart, second by Counselor Galvan. Any other discussion? Debate? Okay. Counselor Chavez?
Yes.
Counselor Zisati?
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez?
Yes.
Counselor Dolan?
Yes.
Counselor Galvan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor?
Yes.
Nate, to vote yes. Motion carries. Okay. Final item on the agenda is E. Let me make sure I get this right. Approving the execution of a contract with GMP Consultants to complete the appointment and retention of Pat Haley as the interim city manager.
This will be Julie's item and yours as council.
Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. As we've discussed, you've made the interim appointment of Mr. Haley. He was the alternate candidate. Your first choice candidate respectfully declined the appointment, but you had authorized me to reach out to Mr. Haley as a secondary candidate. He has accepted the appointment that you made following the special meeting last week. And so the way this relationship works is he is actually an employee of GMP Consultants, and the city will pay an hourly rate to GMP Consultants for Mr. Haley working with the city. The rate is as we discussed, and no surprises in the contract, very short, straightforward. It's terminable whenever, for any reason, whenever you see fit. And Mr. Haley can start, if you approve this tonight, he can start working on Monday, next Monday.
Monday, the 16th?
Yes, correct.
Sorry.
Okay. Any initial questions?
She answered my question as to when he can start. And I think Chief, you'll be taking off tomorrow, so I'm guessing you're gonna appoint somebody to serve as.
Yeah, I've talked to the fire chief earlier today about it.
Cool. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments, questions about Mr. Haley? Okay, what is the desire of council?
Move to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Counselor Dolan, second by Counselor Galvan. Any other discussion? Okay, Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Cesati,
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez,
Yes.
Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Counselor Galvan,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart.
Yes.
I do vote yes. Motion carries. Okay, so moving to the end here, items from council members. A, mayor's appointments for boards and commissions. There aren't any today. And then I think we move into the council request status report. Are we still managing that?
I'm not sure if, do you know how to bring that up? If it's in the back of the packet I provided everybody, it's about 5 pages from the back. So the first thing is the Yellowstone Trail.
Oh, Monica's trying to.
Oh.
Oh, Monica, Jafet, he's working on it.
I have it on my screen, but I'm not sure that it's the most recent one, so I can read it off if you need me to.
I think we have a copy here. I think we're okay.
Okay.
So the Yellowstone Trail. I have not received anything back from, I forget his name. I don't want to butcher it, but I think I'm just gonna move forward with making our own, and it would be more personal for the city of Sunnyside if I do make my own, make our own Yellowstone plaque that's like out on, like I've showed you before over there on Grammy Pavement. So I will start on that. More likely be next weekend, just because I have a dance competition I got to go to for my daughter. So I will be working on getting a plaque out here soon.
Thank you.
Temporary vendors with permits. I know Corey wasn't feeling well. I don't know if you have an update on that.
Yes, so the temporary mobile vendors have been sent to Miss Norton for the final approval, and once we receive that back and she's reviewed everything, we'll send it out to council so we can get, obviously, you guys can review it, and then we'll bring it to council.
Okay, farm implement machinery. So I've got an email from the insurance, and WCIA says that there needs to be an agreement in place with Mr. Sleeve, and they suggested that the city's held harmless and that we post signs like these, what the machines are and things like that. If council wants to keep them where they're at, that is a city right away. It's up to council if we want to keep those machines out there. That's something that we probably need to decide.
I think we need to clean it up a little bit. I would understand for maybe one one of each item, but I think there's like 3 of the same out there. So I think if we clean it up, it might be a little bit better presentation for the city.
There's also things there that are not part of a display of any kind. They're just building materials, a bunch of trusses.
Are you talking about the museum? I think we're talking about out along Yak Valley Highway.
Oh, out on YVH. Yeah.
I don't know what's at the museum, but that might be another issue. I don't know.
Well, and I have something to bring up here in a little bit when we get to the museum status. There'll be a meeting with Home Depot. Greg had established a meeting with Home Depot at one point, and they were going to pay for fencing to go around those items.
On the highway?
I think so. I think that's what it was set up to do when previous city manager was here. And I can check with him and see.
Previous.
Well, they,
Yeah, I think it was Mr. Day.
Yes.
It was 4 city managers ago. I don't know. I have this email here and it says, this is from the insurance and they sent a couple sample plaques that maybe would be applicable to this. And it said maybe tractors donated by Mr. Sleeve to tell about the rich farming history of this city of Sunnyside. And they provided a couple of samples, and the city can have a sign that states for display only. They would recommend having an agreement between the city and Mr. Sleeve, having him identify and hold harmless the city. Make it clear that the agreement that the city is not responsible for any damage to the equipment. Currently, there's nothing in place stating that the equipment is not listed on the property schedule for the city with the insurance, which means there's no coverage if the equipment's damaged. So.
Counselor Vasquez, I think you had your hand up? No? Okay.
I think go ahead, Julia.
Yeah, it seems like, and I think we all got a copy of it in our mailbox at City Hall from Mr. Schlief, kind of detailing a little bit about
How it came about.
how it came about, just for historic purposes, and there might have been some of the other information too. So if we have an opportunity to take a look at that, give you kind of an outline.
How long ago was that of the new council
it's
members?
about-
It was about a year ago, right?
No, he just sent one out about
Okay.
2 weeks ago. I
Oh,
think.
okay, okay.
If you haven't checked your box, it's in there, I think, unless you already picked it up. Mine's at home by my TV remote.
So I guess what we need is, if we're going to continue to allow them to have the equipment out there, that needs to be a decision, and I think that council can make that decision. And then we need to have an agreement in place, and then if he wants to put signs up, or I don't know if the city wants to pay for those, if we put that on him, or it's kind of an interesting situation where he put the stuff out there, and I'm not sure what the agreements were at the time.
Either, but
Council, do y'all want to discuss this at a workshop? I've heard different
About to say that.
sentiments
do that.
from community members, and I believe we've talked about this in the past, even with the previous council, and seemed like there was a consensus of removing items due to the liability they created. But maybe it'd be important to revisit that conversation now that there's some new members here. And adding the comments from community members that we've heard along the way too. We can add it to the next meeting, which would
The
be,
very back page, the very back page in your packet I provided. The next study session will be April 6th.
April 6th.
Yeah,
Are y'all agreeable to this?
I agree. We
Yeah, I
should do
think
that.
that's a
Okay.
good idea.
Should we move that to the workshop?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'll write it on there. That's gonna be Okay, next item is the Boys and Girls Club. I think that was Counselor Chavez was working on that.
So I did talk to Mr. Ace. He is the CEO for the Boys and Girls Club. He works out of the Prosser. He is, I sent you an email also, Mayor Ricky, in regards to being able to attend. I was gonna ask council if you guys are interested in attending to visit the Boys and Girls Club. He did send me a calendar for the dates that are available. I know that we have several people also from the Sunnyside School District School Board, including Superintendent Mr. Maxwell on there. So I put down Friday, March 13th at 2 p.m. If you guys are available and would like to be part of that, let me know. And I can let them know. We can add you guys to the list so you guys can be able to show up and look at what we can bring to our community.
Thank you. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
What was the time?
It is right now the most votes, and that's actually I voted on that one too. Is Friday, March 13th at 2 p.m.
And she's asking if it's in Prosser?
It's yeah, you're gonna tour the Boys and Girls Club in Prosser. There's other dates, but that's the one that has the most votes, and actually I voted on that one too to 2 p.m. on Friday, March 13th.
It hasn't been locked in.
It hasn't been locked in yet. There's I can forward you guys the email and see if you guys want to be part of that. He told me that if you guys wanted to, he can add you guys to that list too.
Do we want to select 3 people maybe to go and report back so we don't reach a quorum?
Yeah. So let me know if who's interested and we can set something up.
Thank you.
Mayor Foster, will you be attending that one?
I can.
Okay. So maybe we can add one more person. Let me know who's interested and we can get that going.
Okay. Community Center, Mr. Mejia.
With the community center, we were at a standstill on what we want to be doing with it. We have pickleball in there right now. As of right now, I think we were, Councilor Chavez was thinking about taking that in there, but that's solely up to the council on what we want to do, proceed with it, and how we want to utilize it.
I'll let you go ahead and then I'll let you myself. Go ahead.
Aren't we not already offering boys or men's basketball?
At this very time, men's basketball hasn't been playing in there for quite a while. The volunteer at that time that was taking care of it, apparently he just got too busy. People weren't paying what they were supposed to be paying to, and he just said, I can't anymore. And we're like,
So
okay.
there's no men's basketball.
No men's basketball.
Any other ideas around this?
With the weather coming up, it's almost, I think we kind of missed the boat with that winter and didn't do enough for it to be able to open it up during the winter. The summer's here, and I think that's being outside is going to take precedence now with basketball and soccer and everything. So we might want to start planning for the next coming year, but keep it open going forward. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. And like I said, pickleball's going in there right now. I know we're setting our courts up in the park with the pickleball courts. And we're open. I'm open to any ideas on what we can utilize it for, to use it. I mean, it's a beautiful community center. And I mean, obviously events happen there still. So yeah, for the coming up winter, we can look and see what we need to do for people in there.
Do we want to keep this on the status report, or I don't know how often you want to revisit it between now and next winter? We can leave it on, or we can make it, I don't know who's going to remember to pop it back up maybe in July. So we start looking at it, but.
Well, we're gonna have an interim here pretty soon. That might bring us a little bit more stability to be able to hold this maybe in a special or in a workshop or do some sort of workshop session in community. But it definitely has to come out from there onto like a more in-depth planning situation amongst us.
Well, let's leave it on there then so we don't forget about it since he's getting ready.
Yeah, let's not, yeah. I know there was, Councilor Vasquez shared that there were volunteers ready to help keep the community, so that was a note last month. I think it'd be important to revisit that list and see what comes around about this plan.
Wayfinding signs, Mr. Mejia.
I'll leave it to Ms. Vasquez.
Yeah, so the
Media and
community and economic development. We will be rescheduling our meeting for this month, but it'll be in our agenda, so we will actually be discussing it. And I'll be presenting some examples from some neighboring cities and kind of just getting their feedback and seeing what it is that they think would be the best look for Sunnyside and go from there.
Museum status, it looks like,
Don't took care of that problem.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add? To the museum status? Councilor
Yes.
Owen?
Yes, I was approached today, so I don't have the pictures with me, but Leroy Workhoven was one of the ones that was helping bring those pieces of equipment that we were just talking about. He also has had the Christian school woodshop kids rebuild and restore a ice cream wagon. It's currently parked in the new museum building, and he was going to be speaking with Home Depot about donation of materials to put up a 10 by 20 shade, similar to the one that my welding class built for the Snipes cabin across the street. It would be a lot smaller and just cover just the wagon and right there on 4th Street near the sidewalk. It's still in discussion, but he is meeting with him on Wednesday to see about getting materials to put this thing up and cover that ice cream truck and then move it out of the building and have it on display. It'll have fencing around it so that kids can access it and fall off it. I did talk to Sis Kennard today about it, and she was all for it. They did a great job of restoring it. It's really something to look at. So I guess the next step would be securing that property of the cities and putting that up and donating the structure to the city. So it's like an ongoing thing. We'll find out Wednesday what he's accomplished as far as securing the materials to put up this structure. And so we'll have pictures for you and layout and all that at our workshop.
Nice. Thank you. That's it? Okay.
That's it.
Okay, other reports, announcements, and or questions by council. Councilor Chavez,
Nothing to report.
Councilor Cesati,
Nothing.
Councilor Vasquez.
Yeah, I had the chance to show up to one of the new business. There's been a few businesses that are new here in the city of Sunnyside. I was able to attend Wise Law's ribbon cutting ceremony, which was really nice. They're an injury law, a new law firm here in the city of Sunnyside. So make sure to, if you can, stop by and just say, welcome to Sunnyside. You know, even like a small welcome goes a long way for small and new businesses. And speaking of businesses, Economic Development Committee, we are actually hosting business trainings at the Sunnyside Community Center every Tuesday. It starts at 5:15 to 7:15, so they're 2 hour long. They're 2 hours long. And they were all provided there. So it's for people who don't have a business yet, but want to pursue or are wanting to open up a business. We're going over a lot of material where they are teaching them actually kind of like, well, what is it that you want to do? What's your idea? And how can it actually work? And what are the steps to even be able to obtain or start a business? And it's just giving all the fundamentals and a lot of information. And it's really nice because when you complete all of these trainings, this program will actually pay for your business license. They'll pay and they'll do all of your licensing, make sure that you have everything done correctly, and all free of charge. And there's a good group right now, and they're very pumped, and it's very nice to see that. And we've all just been donating snacks and drinks, and I've been there. So Tuesdays, I've been busy on Tuesdays, helping with that. And tomorrow it'll be our third class. So I just want to let everyone know that it's still not too late to participate. And if you are interested, or if there's a business idea that you have, or you know someone who maybe has a business but doesn't have their licenses, this would be an amazing opportunity for them to get connected with these people. That way they can get connections and are able to then obtain a business license. So I just wanted to share this reminder to the city of Sunnyside that this is a free event and it's being held every Tuesday, 5:15 to 7:15 at the Sunnyside Community Center.
Thank you for that update. Counselor Dolan,
Nothing to report.
Counselor Galvan,
Nothing to report.
Deputy Mayor.
I just want to mention, I also went to the WISE Injury Law Office over on Yakima Valley Highway on, was that last Tuesday, I believe, and it was very nice. I recognized Mr. Wise right away because several years ago, I did an article when I was still working at the newspaper. He and his family had got separated during the COVID. He was in China. His family was in Thailand on vacation. When it came time to go home, the family in Thailand was not allowed back into China. So they had to figure out a way to get back to the States. Mr. Wise at that time was working with the diplomatic service. And so he had to wait a little while. They ended up in Outlook at, I think, her parents or his parents' home. So that's been a long time ago. And then he went to Harvard, got his law degree. So it was really cool to see them. His children that were really little when I did the interview are all, now they're freshmen and senior in high school. So that was kind of neat to get to see them for that reason. I'm very happy to see them back here in Sunnyside. It's a very good deal. That's all I have.
Okay. Rob and I will be heading out to Washington, D.C. tomorrow morning. So as soon as this is done, I have to run off to go pack because we're catching a very early flight, 5 in the morning. Thank you, Hector, for pulling together some of the materials, and Chief Hobrick. I think the consulting firm submitted some appropriations, potential appropriation funding for us. So send all of the good energy. We hope to be able to advocate the best way we can for the city and eventually bring back some money. I'll give it over to you, Rob. Think for upcoming council meetings.
Okay, we have the mobile vendor ordinance at the, well, it says in March 9th meeting, so on the 23rd, and it sounds like Mr. Mejia is ready for that. We're going to have a budget update from Ms. Hofstetter and revisit the hiring freeze. The emergency moratorium, we voted at the last meeting to have that hearing on the March 23rd meeting, so that'll happen then. April 6th is the study session, and we have it looks like a training council do's and don'ts with WCIA, and we added the farm equipment discussion there. And I just got an email to move an agenda item. The budget update, it's been asked to move until April. So that would go to the April, let's see, so 13th meeting. Okay, made that change. And then down under future agenda items, the fee schedule change, that happened tonight. We have the Catholic Charities CHIP grant. There's been some emails going back and forth. I think Hector's been on those. Okay. And then we have a Sunnyside Housing Authority, the presentation that the mayor realized we were supposed to get annually and haven't been getting. So hopefully that happens here soon. And then dispatch, I've met with the union and our labor attorney last week. That should be coming here soon. I've also, Julie has returned her opinion on it with a couple of minor changes. And then the opioid money for radio KDNA, I think that that's something that Monica's working on, finding all the opioid money so we could get a clear direction on what we have. So any questions on that or anything to add from anybody? Okay, if you have anything, just shoot me an email or let the mayor know. We can get it added.
Thanks. Thank you, Rob. Does staff have any reports?
Yep. Hector, do you have anything to report?
Yes, I do. So just been working on Cherry Hill stormwater pond and retaining wall. So it's the wall up on Cherrywood that's fell. Been working with Drew Holman from Poland. I'm butchering his last name. I apologize, Julie. So I'm working on with him and Dr. Martin to see how we can recoup and get that taken care of. Obviously, 9th and Lincoln on the sewer project. We're hoping to have that out to bid here soon. Working with the Department of Ecology Stormwater Capacity Grant that we received $120,000 for. We can use those for wages, parts, materials that we need for stormwater. So I got a list of graffiti that I have sent out to my street department. They're helping me out very well with that. We have a bunch of graffiti that we're getting taken care of. The unhomed people were I'm work myself, Mr. Taylor, and Omar, Mr. Rangel is working on that diligently and trying to make sure we get them round up and not out to the community. Working with Mr. Taylor and Mrs. Norton on the mobile vendor. I'll be working on the Yellowstone plaque here soon. And then obviously for Mr. Galvan, I was working on the swimming policy that he had asked for. So swimming's coming up. I'm working with the swim team and their contract that's been sent to Miss Norton also. And then working with HLA to find some funds for a new water tower and well 10 so we can get that back into ERUs, which I found for Mr. Holbrook. So ERUs is, sorry. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Equivalent residential units. That's what ERU means. So I also been working with our sewer department. We had a couple pumps that went down. So over in Enterprise, we have a lift pump. Come to find out, we found out that the impeller in it is completely gone. So we had to order an impeller for that pump, which is going to cost us $1,725. So that's $1,725 to replace it. For a new pump to come in, we're looking at between $12,000 to $15,000. So we went the route we could just to get it going and get the pump on, back into working condition. It still pumps. It's just not to its full capacity. So just to bring that to your guys' view that we are working on that. I also am working on CCS, which is a company that we brought in to help us out with the clarifier. Now we have 2 clarifiers at the wastewater treatment plant that was full and plugged. Now what a clarifier does, just to give you guys a little background, is a tank structure designed to remove suspended solids and impurities from wastewater through the process of settlements. So we have 2 of those. Both were plugged, both augers to the next roll that it goes to. It was very plugged. We tried to unplug it manually, unplugging it with our sewer. So I got an estimate on how much it would take to get it be cleaned. The estimate was $10,000. Now, as soon as I got the bill, I notified interim city manager about it, and the bill was much higher than what they quoted me for an estimate. It was 61. So with that 61,000, I told them, hey, you guys need to obviously find out what happened. How did we get not contacted? Because work should have been stopped. Once, and hopefully I am going to work on getting that cost down and working with them, because obviously we didn't get authorization to have that taken care of. of that amount, but the quote that I have here was only for 10,000, and that should have been what it cost, not 10,000 per the amount of time. It should have been just straight 10,000. If it was going to go more, then they should have estimated more. We gave them all the information on how plug it is, how big the tank is, what we needed done. So I'm going to be working with them to get that cost down, and so to make sure that's taken care of.
Yeah, they should have stopped work and contacted us. It's just like taking your car to a mechanic. They just can't run the bill up without your authorization. That's exactly what happened. So when he called me, I said, that's not going to work. Take it back to them, and they're going to reduce that bill to some extent. Or we're not paying it. I mean, that's ridiculous. There's a reason we go out and get quotes.
Sounds like a bait and switch.
Sounds like it.
Gosh.
No.
This was the crew that cleaned out the big tank,
Yes, sir.
and it ended up being
61.
Wow. Because I was up on top of that tank with the guy when he told Randy it was going to be 31,000.
Yeah, no, I got a quote right here that was.
And they were almost done.
Yeah. So I got a quote from here on 2/6/26 when I was getting this taken care of, and it was for 10,953. So.
Go ahead, Counselor Chavez.
Did they even tell you why it was so, what happened there with the cost? So they just decided to bill that?
They sent me the bill, and I was like, no, this is not correct. And that's when I contacted the intern city manager, and I contacted them.
But you also have the quote, you have the quote, right?
I have the quote right here. So, and that's what I stated to them, that I have a quote for 10,000, not for 61. That should have been 10 was the cap, unless something. I mean, if that person let you know that it was 31,000.
Oh, I was just standing right there with Randy when those two were talking. He said, "You're going to end up at about 31,000." They were very close. They had a little bit more to clean out of one side, and
but even then,
everything was right there on the camera. It was almost done, and so then it was just deep.
If it would have ended up 12,000, we wouldn't even be talking about this. But
No.
to go to 61, I mean, come on, that's 6 times the rate. I don't know how you do that.
So yeah, so I'm working on it to get it back down, and so we don't pay that much. That should have never happened. So I'm working on that diligently. It's on my high priority list to take care of.
Good catch.
Wow.
So that's all. Seed. I know Ninth and Lincoln, we have the seed contract. I've sent it to Miss Norton. So again, we've been awarded the seed contract. And I will bring that to council on the 23rd for approval, that the contract be signed. It is at a 5.06% of Yakima County interfund loan rate. It'll be for a grant of 569,720, with a loan of 569,720, and the city matches 248,860. So that will bring to your guys. I'll bring that to your guys.
So the project completely is 569,000.
No. The whole project's $1,424.
Okay, so it's half grant, half loan.
Yes.
So so 569 from grant, 569 from loan. Where'd the 200 and something come in?
That is the match for I believe the loan that we are taking out. So it's all on the contract. I have it right here. Right here.
I think Julie
Julie's
has it.
trying to speak.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're taking out a loan, and then the match is usually for the grant portion. So
Okay.
you're paying outright to match part of the grant, and then you're also taking out a loan that's going to be payable out in 20 years or 10 or 20 years.
So basically a quarter of it's covered by a grant, and 3/4 we're paying for. One up front, a quarter up front, and half over a term.
Correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. The 23rd, you'll get more information, but
Yes. So,
Thank you.
and then obviously my planning committee, I'll be meeting with tomorrow. Climate, I will get it out to Mr. Driscoll before next week. Just waiting to hear back from Mr. Calhoun. And then Community Economics Development, we're waiting to hear back from everybody to see when we can meet. I am working on the Parks Committees on when we can meet. I've reached out to the chair, and then the airport, obviously with Mr. Dolan, I'm reaching out to everybody so we can meet, get caught up with that. So, busy guy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Halbert, Chief Halbert.
Yeah, weekly stats sent out earlier today. Last week we ran 99 incidents. So our year to date is 866. We logged just under 23 training hours. So our running total is 755.55. Got to have that 0.55 there. One of the highlights is on Saturday, on the 7th, we had our first public education CPR blitz that we hosted at the community center. We had about 20 attendees. Went incredibly well. A lot of engagement from those that attended, asked a lot of great questions, and kind of our follow-up with them at the end was that it was very beneficial and very educational. So with that feedback, we plan to do more in the future. So that's all I have. Stand for questions.
No questions. I just want to thank you for doing that. It was free, and I actually had some of my friends attend, and they said that they learned a lot and that they actually had fun learning. So thank you for that.
Perfect. Win-win.
Yes.
Jafet?
This last week we had an AC unit in one of our closets go out, and we had to replace it. So we'll be seeing an invoice here coming soon. It's been replaced. It was up and running on Friday. We also have cell phones for council members that should be ready here soon. I just didn't want to. We have to configure Duo for all of you so that it takes over what your other devices are doing now. I didn't want to interrupt that for having you come in and making sure that all worked for you. We continue domain work to be able to get to implementing our new email. The timekeeping system, it's going to be an ongoing project for the next few months. And network replacement, we're working on replacing equipment. Just like I said last week, it'll be going on for a little while. So I have.
Quick clarification, Jeff, just if you could clarify, that way the public knows that we're not putting AC units in closets, but it's a server closet or server room.
Correct. I guess
needed.
I should have been. Yes, it's meant to keep all the network equipment
Cool.
that keeps this whole building running cool. All that equipment generates quite a bit of heat, and it needs to be helped to cool down. The AC in the building isn't enough to cool that room down.
Gotcha.
It also has to be kept locked. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, just real quick, I spent all my day working on city manager stuff, prepping for Washington DC. So just so everybody knows, it was in my weekly report, but the two big things that we're asking for there is some federal funding for the bridge that coincides with the Washington State Department of Transportation roundabout at the intersection of 241 and Edison. We need to replace that bridge so that they can put in the roundabout. The bridge needs to be widened and improved. And so that's something that we're going to be asking for. And the other thing is, and the one I got to do a little more research on so I understand it better, but it's some improvements at the wastewater treatment plant so that we don't end up with a leak, correct?
Correct. It's for the headworks, UV rays that are really outdated, headworks that are outdated that need to be, obviously the clarifiers, some of their pumps and augers are outdated. So we have quite a bit of improvement that we need to be taken care of at wastewater treatment plant. So
that's the two projects that we'll be advocating for.
Excuse me, have you guys talked to SVID and the waterway through there about what the plan is?
I haven't reached out to them. I was working on obviously our lobbyists, and trying to get those letters today. So I didn't get a chance to reach out to them today, but I will make it a point to reach out to SVID and Rosa to make sure we're on the right path for the culvert. What you're intended to ask for, to see if we're on the right path for that.
Have they talked about a change in that, not having to worry about the height of that? Or they're still saying that has to be?
And like I said, I haven't reached out to him, so I want to reach out and get the information to make sure that I give you the proper answer. So I will reach out to both parties and make sure I get the information that I know what you're asking for, the height of the culvert and the structure of it.
And the land that we'll need to see about acquiring a small portion of both of those on each side of Edison.
Yes.
Isn't
Bless
that
you.
part of, excuse me, isn't that part of what the HLA is doing?
Yes, HLA is working on that, so I will reach out to HLA to
That's
get
part of the
it, give me
con-
that information also.
Thank you, Hector.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the executive session. We should also discuss if we're gonna leave public comment for general public comment, if we can move it up on the agenda for the future, for future meetings. There are a few people signed up. We don't, maybe to not have them wait so long. I don't think the executive session is gonna take that long, but is there any objection to allowing them to do it now before we go into executive session?
No objection.
No objection.
Okay. Did you have a question?
No, I was going to suggest that.
Okay. So hearing no objection, I'll go ahead and go straight into public comment for general comments. And first on the list is Jim Stevens.
I do one for the pre-comment, one for the post-comment. I'll try and jam them both into the same here for speed. I was really impressed with the meeting, by the way, with all the digging into the budget program there in Prosser, program here for kids licensing. Do they city pay for that license as well?
The city, no, it's actually a program.
Well, I was going to apply for it if I could. That's great. I just tying up a lot of things that in the past have not been tied up, which I think is fantastic. And some of the things that we need to do, or there were a couple of things that were somewhat bothersome, is we had a meeting here where the leader of Ella Maria Fernandez sued the council for $150,000, and there was a vote. And I believe the mayor voted on that, and the mayor is a member of that organization. She should not have voted on that. The conflict of interest. Also, the mayor voted to have her be on the environmental committee, whatever the name of that is, and should not have voted on that. There's a conflict of interest there. And so that needs to be readdressed by the council. We need to tighten things up. We need to do things by the numbers. And we'll definitely, absolutely expect that to happen. There are agencies out there that will make it happen, but we want to make that happen here at home first and play by the rules. Interesting enough, somebody gave me this letter. It was on Facebook. The guy, David Cortinas, Lavos, I think, I'm not familiar with all this, but I believe he runs this Lavos out of Pasco. And he comes all the way up here to our meetings. Why the hell he comes up here, I don't know. This is Sunnyside. We have our own deal going on here. And so he comes up and he sticks his nose into things and claims he's a first-class reporter, yada, yada, which he is definitely not. He was also involved with Mike Gonzalez. Mike did a good thing, by the way. Putting what I'd like to see come back is getting our community businesses together to meet at a certain time. That was a very good thing, and it died. But anyway, so David says, this is on Facebook, wrote, true colors are coming out on most of you. Another Dr. Stevens Tuesday morning meeting full of Hispanic haters, racist persons attended those meetings. I have the proof of what is said at those meetings and who attends. I have the text after text from those that attend those meetings bashing Latinos and bad-mouthing Latinos. I can present these texts on this thread if you want to see them. Dr. Stevens, Britton, Beanie Britton Moore, and others, but some of them I respect and I won't throw them on the bus. But I am ashamed of those that I am protecting, but they know who they are. Unbelievable. Who the hell is this guy? It's incredibly absurd. This little snake. I mean, what a coward puts this here. Come to my face, dude. Now let's talk. So we have a lot of Hispanic haters. George Galvin's one of the Hispanic haters that came. Let's see. We have a couple of people back here. I think what's your last maiden name?
Mr.
Another
Stevens,
Mexican hater.
your time is up.
Okay, this is what's going. Don't I get my extra 3 minutes too?
No, you get 3 minutes. Your time is up.
My first 3 minutes I didn't get. Okay.
Yeah, it's only 3 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. So point being, that we
Thank you.
gotta stop this stuff.
Thank you.
This has gotta stop.
Thank you for your comment. Monica Niemeyer.
I didn't get my first.
You only get 3.
Monica Flores Niemeyer, Sunnyside. And really quick, before my time starts, please. I don't know if you guys saw, I saw it pop up. Chelsea's sending a text. She said she had to leave. She was wondering if she could do her comment online. I saw that pop up. So I don't know if you guys saw that. I just want to make sure, Chelsea, everybody can be heard.
We'll make sure we'll call out for her if she's still online.
She did. You might maybe reach out.
She's the last one on here.
Yeah, it popped up. It popped up. Okay, and then I'm gonna time me. Is that okay? I was wondering if you guys were being
The
timed.
Fed's keeping,
Okay,
and I am too.
okay. Yeah, I thought I should too. So, all right. Thank you so much. Monica Niemeyer, City of Sunnyside. So I'm here to talk about what happened this weekend with our city and Mike Gonzalez. I mean, come on, what is this? What happened? How did the public not know any of this? Some of this has to be allowed to be public record. Some of this seems to be an action before council. So how is that not public record? I mean, I don't know all of it, but I'm really wondering if OPMA was in violation here. And which one of you, if not all of you, were in violation of that OPMA? And I don't know how to find the answer, but I do know I'm allowed to write a letter to the Attorney General or a letter of opinion on the actions that were taken and name the council. I don't want to do that. I want discussion. I think we all want discussion. I would hope all of you, even though you have different opinions together, want discussion. So I don't know what this happened, but I don't understand why Frausto, Leticia Cesari, Raymond Chavez want Mike Gonzalez back. And now it appears Julia Hart too. I don't understand what your guys' secret fan club is. So could you enlighten me? Please tell me what he did so right that you guys would try to hold what appeared to be a secret meeting on the 26th because it was a special meeting. And Frausto, Councilmember Galvan and Councilmember Vasquez asked you what it was. And you did twist it and make it seem like we were asking. I fully understand the public is not allowed to know certain subjects for executive session. It's set up for you guys to have protection, to have a healthy discussion in the best interest of the city. But when you have your own council members asking what is going on, why is that being kept from each other, from one another? Why are you doing that? And then did maybe the rest of you know? None of you popped up. And if you did, well, because that's quorum. So that's another issue. So I don't know what the four of you have for Mike. I don't understand the secret fan club. But if you could please enlighten the rest of us, because you all know what he did. Some of you are brand new and you heard about it, but you're aware of the liability he put us at, the liability he exposed us to, the way he treated staff. You two had staff talk to you, and you still made the motion and seconded it and disregarded how they felt. And so they left. So I guess that's not only on you, though. That is also on council. So I don't know what we're going to do here. And my guess is you guys are going to feel the way you want because we have talked to you. You've had facts, you have information, and you're still doing what you're doing. And we can't stop you. But what I really hope the public learns is what their rights are. They learn rights of OPMA. They learn rights of executive session. They learn rights of public record. They learn the rights of code of conduct. And at this point, I really hope you all work together. And this was great. All of you voting on the same time, that was wonderful.
Mayor, your time is up.
Okay, sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Teodora Martinez.
Hello, City Council. My name is Teodora Martinez, and I live within the boundaries of the Port of Sunnyside. I just wanted to say that March is Women History Month. So I hope the city of Sunnyside, especially with, some historical things that have happened in these last few years with women running, Latino women running and such, that, hopefully there's a proclamation of some sort. To address the history of women on city council in Sunnyside. I think that would be great. Also to educate the community and encourage the youth to get involved. And, because if you read your true history book, you're going to find that women have been fighting for years for recognition. And of course, these were the Caucasian women first, then women of color. And even during this time, with American citizens that are being arrested just because of their skin color. And this isn't the first time it's happened. It happened during the Vietnam War. It happened during Pearl Harbor, And now with all these so-called detention centers being built around the country, it just makes me wonder if we're taking a step back in history. But anyway, in the meantime, March is Women's History Month. And so I really hope you guys make some kind of proclamation and bring that important information forward to our community. How much time do I have left?
Minute and a half.
Oh, good. Okay. The other thing is, when I read in the newspaper, and I know, some of the articles that have come out about the city council and Mike Gonzalez, the former city manager, and all of that. I mean, I know he did a lot of good when he was here. I mean, I know he brought in a lot of money. I know he went up to Olympia to lobby. I mean, I know he met with a lot of business owners. And it just, to me, it's like, I kind of want to know if you guys are bringing him back. I mean, I know he was really good about lobbying for money and bringing money and other things into our community. So, to me, it's like, I kind of wonder, like, how's the information getting out into the community, especially if the city council is holding special meetings? It kind of makes me wonder, believe it or not, I kind of agree with Monica. It's like, is somebody, sharing that info out there? I mean, I know that it seems like there are certain city council members that are being targeted, but to me, it's like maybe they're targeting the wrong ones. I don't know, but I just wanted to say that. And I know soccer season is starting soon, so I hope the community center and also the city of Sunnyside and their parks are going to cooperate with all of these soccer teams that are trying to find fields and really encourage them to stay involved, because we got to keep our youth involved. We just have to, or else they're going to go down the wrong path. Anyway, I think that's all I needed to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and then last on our list is Chelsea Dimas. Is Chelsea on the line? Okay.
Hey everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about the change in the procedure for public comments. So I just wanted to give my comment online because I had to leave. But my name's Chelsea Dimas. I live in Sunnyside. I'm making my comment in my Human Rights Commissioner capacity. A few members of the community just wanted more information about what the Human Rights Commission does and how to get a hold of them, and just like the possibility of doing some outreach events in the Yakima Valley. And so I just wanted to inform folks that in the last meeting, we discussed doing outreach events in Central Washington. And I also just wanted to inform folks that the next meeting for the Human Rights Commission is happening on March 26th at 10 a.m. That information is available on hum.wa.gov. And there's public comment available for folks if they want to share any concerns. And it's accessible online. All of the meetings are available on YouTube. So you can find more information there as well as how to file a complaint. But in the next meeting, if we come up with dates for when we're going to do those outreach events, I will email those over to City Council just so community is aware. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chelsea. Okay. So that brings us to the end of our public comment list. Now we can go into executive session. Julie, we don't have a time listed on the agenda. Do you think 10 to 15 minutes could be enough? Should we start with 10? No action expected? Okay, so I'll read the RCW into the record. RCW 42.30.1101G. And this will be to discuss with legal around pending or threatened litigation with the council. So if everybody could please exit the room, make sure you take your belongings.